Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? I hope you're all doing well this evening. Well, what can I say to you, man? They did it again. They sure pulled that lovely manipulative play in Bitcoin today. We had the news announcements from the US, great labor market, unemployment coming down to pre-pandemic levels, happy days for the dollar. Bitcoin pulls the infamous Brinksbox play. Let's just go back to last night's video, just to understand what it is we are talking about. Here it is. To see in this structure right here for today, we saw the Brinksbox play right there. Stop hunt low, stop hunt rise, shift out to the upside, initiate the reversal for New York, come all the way back down. They come back into the previous red vector candle recovery zone. First green vector candle that appears above the moving averages based on the first vector strategy. We would have been able to exploit that. Had you gone into the smaller time frames, you would have been able to see the following. So look at the 5-minute time frame on Bitcoin. So let's go and find that exact same setup that we saw happen today in Bitcoin. Go to the 15-minute time frame. Roll out. What do you have? Well, here's the US Brink session, ladies and gentlemen. We have the red vector candle recovery. Let's mark off our structure one more time. You have the Brinksbox appearing at the lows. You then have the anticipated New York session area. You're anticipating Bitcoin to initiate the stop hunt rise, stop hunt low, the play around in this range with the mad move to the upside to initiate the New York reversal back down. Now, the great thing is we've now had the second reversal in New York, which is where you see price now is moving its way back up. Happy days. But do you see it? There's the US Brinksbox. Mark it off. Stop hunt low, stop hunt rise. They initiate the reversal back up towards the red vector candle in the zone. At that point, they initiate the high of New York, and then they rip it back down into the range. Now, what can we learn from this? We can learn quite a bit, ladies and gentlemen, because although you can't predict what's going to happen next to the T, you improve the chances if you understand what you are looking for based on the way price is starting to behave. Go back to yesterday's price action. Look at the exact same scenario. Brinksbox appears at the lows down here. They initiate the move. Stop hunt rise, stop hunt low, stop hunt rise, stop hunt low. And then they shift out to initiate the New York reversal. Bang, rip it to the downside. Guess what? Vector candle recovery. Vector candle recovery. To all of you watching this video, use this weekend to go back in the chart and train your eyes to mark off the New York session reversals. Okay? Now, we have been blessed with these two plays right here that have worked out perfectly. Notice how in Asia, they mark price up last night, and then they make a recovery of those vector candles right there to the point where they hold the range and then they shift out from that zone. Go back in Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame and train your eyes. Look what happened here. Brinksbox, same manipulative play. They initiate the move to the upside. They then bring it back down again. They don't go too far down because we already had a recovery of the vector candle. And then they initiate the move back up to hit the highs and then come back down. Yeah? Go back again. Does this ring a bell? Stop hunt rise, stop hunt low in the Brinksbox session right there, ladies and gentlemen. There's your little Brinks. Initiate the move to the upside. New York hits the reversal recovery of the red vector candle in the range. Happy days. They bring it back down one more time. Red vector candle, recovery by Bitcoin. Are we starting to see the same thing happening, ladies and gentlemen? Would you say it's a coincidence? Or would you say that it's the behavior of Mr. Market Maker? That he always comes into the imbalances. The closer the imbalance, the more likely they are going to try and come and work back towards it. Use this weekend to try and dive into that concept, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Because it does serve purpose. Now, looking at Bitcoin's price action right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're all probably trying to wonder, what is Bitcoin going to do next? Well, firstly, we need to understand, what is Bitcoin going into? Let's take a trip over to the liquidation heat map and understand that we currently have around $720 million worth of short liquidations since this zone right here when Bitcoin dropped. And it's the nearest side of liquidity for price to make its way towards, which sits at the 23,520 point. We look on the last 7 days based on the volume accumulation of Bitcoin, we can understand where our traders' heads at. All right. And there it is. There's that big bad boy, $5.27 billion worth of short liquidations in that zone. That is frightening, ladies and gentlemen. This is frightening to say the least. And that is at the roughly around the 23,700 zone. So all the guys who are short right now are adding to their margins. Notice where price would be going if it goes into the 23,700 zone. The principle is there. Vector candle recovery point. That's the logic. Now anything can happen, guys. It can come up into this zone. It can also drop down from this zone. We've got a vector candle point right here. So just be cautious when you are considering opportunities over the weekend. The weekend is treacherous, so please be mindful of it. It advertises itself as the most volatile time in crypto. I get that. But if you are not a seasoned trader, or should I say, you are proficient in the hybrid system, please just be very cautious when you trade the weekends. Now, let's understand what happened today, ladies and gentlemen. We had some news announcements for the US dollar. Let's just roll over to it right now. And you can see that today's news announcement shows average hourly earnings up, non-farm employment change high, unemployment rate drops. Wow. Well done, dollar. Nice to know you've been present. Dollar index, nice move to the upside. Now, something that normally what I do is I share my logic behind certain trades with the patrons of the channel. But today, or should I say in the last 24 hours or so, I've been in a position that I traded on Euro USD on the idea that Euro USD yesterday was being manipulated and also dollar index was being manipulated as well. Okay. What do I mean by manipulated? Well, it's not the first time that I've traded these news plays and what have you. Okay. Now, yesterday when I saw the dollar index taking a nosedive to the downside, I was trying to understand, right, dollar dominance is going down. Bitcoin was going down. Euro USD was moving up. But I wasn't seeing the relationship. Why was Bitcoin going down? Why were other assets against the US dollar also going down? It didn't make sense. Okay? Now, let's just bring up the chart for a split second and just look at Euro USD. Where is it? Here we go. So this is Euro USD. Euro USD yesterday was floating up. I mean, if we're going to talk divergences, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that Euro USD's move up. You can see there the volume was just disappearing and disappearing as it was making these highs. Principally, there were no vector candles inside of these zones. This was leading me into building shorts. So I started to build some shorts in Euro USD and I ended up staying up. I didn't sleep at all yesterday. I was awake for 24 hours because I was anticipating that at some point they were going to release down lower on the idea that the news announcements was going to be favorable for the dollar. Now, when you consider what they've been talking about in relation to the way the Fed has been behaving in terms of increasing the interest rates and inflation itself, they always go to the idea that the jobs market was good. There is a strong jobs market. Go back in the channel, ladies and gentlemen. There was a stream where I pulled up the article. I can't find it now. But the Fed has had the idea that the jobs market is strong. So could we go on the idea that dollar index and Bitcoin and Euro USD yesterday were all manipulated in preparation for good news for the dollar? Could we take any confluences? Could we take any aspects? In Euro USD, I could see that the volume was disappearing as it was rising up, and there was no vector candles, which led me over to opening these shorts right here. So I started opening shorts as price was rising. There was no vectors. Then as we came into this zone right here, I decided to add a few more shorts. And then upon the news announcements, we saw the drop to the downside. Happy days, we recover. Okay? Now, inside each of these trades right here, there's all in all about 16 trades right here. And from the lowest entry point right here, I picked up about 22 pips. And as we go higher and higher, you can see that the pip count is in the range of between 25 and 30 pips, with the most amount of pips earned was at that point at 57 on those 4 or 5 trades in that zone. Okay? But I was given the understanding that yesterday there was clean manipulation. Now, Euro USD came all the way back up into this vector candle recovery. Now, why am I talking about Euro USD? Because Euro USD makes up 55% of the dollar index. Now, when the dollar index shoots up, Bitcoin in principle should be going down. Okay? But we haven't seen that play out. If you look at the dollar index right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a nice move to the upside with the dollar index. Make sure that you switch it over to dollarindexcapital.com, because then you get a continuous feed of it. Okay? You get the vector candles. It's even gapped up, ladies and gentlemen. So there is a massive imbalance in the dollar dominance right there. Okay? Principle says that we would expect them to recover the vector candle. The principle says that Bitcoin should be moving down on the strength of the dollar dominance. But Bitcoin's doing its own thing. Now we've got the weekend. So it's a different scenario, ladies and gentlemen. When you are trying to use information about indices, whether you're focusing on Forex, whether you're focusing on crypto, whether you understand that if the NASDAQ is trading higher, Bitcoin in principle should be trading higher, or S&P is moving higher, and in principle, Bitcoin should be moving higher. I mean, look how they come back down into the recovery of this vector candle zone. We've been waiting for them to come back into this range. Happy days to anyone that traded S&P. Dollar yen. Wow. What can I say to you? Setting up price. There's the first zone of recovery. Happy days. You remember these charts. We pulled them up in the live streams. But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to convey to you guys is the Brinksbox strategy itself is something that plays out often, and most of the time it's going to give you the 2 reversals in the chart. Okay? So again, to finalize, consider the box itself, New York Brinksbox, which takes around about an hour and a half to form, which is at 2 p.m. UK time and finalizes at 3 p.m. That's when magic hour starts. That's when the completion of the Brinksbox has been done. So principle would say that we expect price to initiate the following price action. Up and down. Doesn't always have to do that. But you would marry up the vector candles in the ranges to understand how likely they are going to do it. The game is all probabilities. The sooner you come to accept that it's about probabilities and not indefinites, because in life, ladies and gentlemen, we always seek guarantees. We always believe that if we use something of value in exchange for something, we expect something back. If you give me $10, I say I provide a service, you expect that service. If you don't get the service, you get your money back. But in trading, it's different. Just because you open a trade, it doesn't mean it has to pay you. And you've got to be okay with that. That's why I say to you guys, always, always pay yourselves. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will be saying this. I'm going to be spending some time with my family as of next week. So I won't be doing that many updates or live streams because I may not have the facilities to do so. Okay? But I'll be keeping in touch with you all via the community posts in YouTube. If I'm able to drop onto a live, then you know, ladies and gentlemen, I will be bringing that fire. But make sure you get yourself into the Pattern Watchers Discord. It's free to do so. So get into the Pattern Watchers Discord. That way you're going to be in line with any updates that I might decide to do when I'm away with my family. But ladies and gentlemen, now we're going into the weekend. Like I said to you, just be cautious with the volatility. Pay yourselves. And then we will bring you the fire one more time on Monday to bring in the start. Sorry, on Sunday to bring in the start of the week. So Sunday will be my last live stream. All right? So mad love and respect to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend to come. Be sure to like and subscribe. And I will check in with you beautiful people on Sunday. Take care of yourselves, family. Peace.